Good afternoon everyone, it's Deb from Project Life Deb's Way again. I've got a lovely layout for you. I was absolutely in my element with these papers because they are my favourite, with the florals and butterflies and very soft pinks and blues and those sort of tonings. And of course, as you know, I really do love those sort of papers. It came from 13 at Arts again, and it's called Love in Roses, and as you can see, it has the most gorgeous florals that come with this, and it also has, that's the type of blue that is included, so you can actually see it was absolutely beautiful, the papers. I had no ephemera with this particular pack, so I made my own die cuts and things with flowers and tickets from old book papers and things, just to add a little bit of texture to the layout. Now I'll give you a quick viewing of what I have done. Now if I turn the paper that way, you can actually see without me twisting it too far. So as you can see, it's got beautiful florals and etc. With it, and I'll show you the other side so you can actually see what we'll make with this process video. So there we have your layout. I do make the cards from start to finish, and you'll finish with a full layout once you've done. Before we make the cards, I will show you what papers I've used and what things I've added to it, what colours I use for my photo mats and everything else. So if you do want to follow along and you can't get these papers, just choose something from your stock that's sort of similar, then you'll be able to follow along. So let's get on with making our cards. Hi everybody, here's a sneak peek at the layout we'll be doing. As you can see, I've put all my photographs in, and I also have got a fantastic flap page that will be done in this layout with all the directions for how to do that particular card in this layout. So with no further ado, let's get on with making our cards. So making our cards, here's card number 1. And I have done all of my cards on your 6x4 white base cards. So all our other first cards will always be 5 3/4 by 3 3/4, and I've distressed around the outside. So we are going to attach this to our first card with the florals on this side. So just place that in centered like so. Now I've got a really lovely die cut here that has the center piece, which of course you can pop your title onto there, and that goes into the middle of the page. So we are going to attach that, being very careful if you use a tape runner to go slow, because cardstock has a terrible thing of actually furballing and just attaching to your runner. So we are going to attach that right in the center of our piece, and then the white is exactly the same, and pop that into that center of that die. And that makes a lovely title. Now I do have a little saying here, enjoy life's moments, and we are going to just edge that, and that is going to go on some mounting tape. And that is going to go down into the bottom corner, but we're just going to put that to one side at the moment. Now with this, I have very lightly just distressed my flowers, just like that. And this particular one we are going to pop just here. Now we can use some glue for this, or you can use tape. So we'll just peel the tape off of that. And we are going to attach this just up at the top so it's laying flat. Now with your butterfly, you can cause your butterfly to flutter. Now to do my fluttering, what I do there is we are going to just turn your butterfly around, and I have bought some of these thin strips because they're absolutely perfect for this. And just take a small strip of this small strip and put it on either side of the wings. Take your tape off. Then I put a small amount of glue just in the center of your body, and attach that to your layout and hold the center down. And what that does, it gives you a little bit of dimension without too much lift. Now we're going to pop our little saying at the bottom. We have our first flower we're going to put up at the top like that, and I think I'm going to have a bit of a play with this. We'll curl that down, and then because this is sticking out awkward, we just cut it off and pop it underneath. And there we have card number 1 done. Now we're just going on to card number 2. Now card number 2 is going to be a flap card. So I'll just show you here. It's going to have, so you can have more photographs in it. So you just need the attachment piece which goes in here. Now how we do that, we have our two base cards here, which are 6 by 4, both of them. So how we do this is we have one card at the back, then you lay this flat, and then this card goes on top like that, so that your attachment will be inside your folder, which of course your cards will then cover that. So what I have done, I have got a 2-inch piece by 5 inches, and I have scored it down the center and made sure that that mechanism is really tough, and I have put enough tape to really secure it. So what we do first is we do the back card first, glue. Now with this, when you are doing this, you need to put your card a little bit down from that folding mechanism, because if you don't, your card won't slip into the folder nicely. So you should have that little tiny bump like that at the top to actually see. Then what you do is you fold that down and take off your other double-sided tape, which, because I'm on the camera, it doesn't want to do. You then place your card and hold it at the bottom and layer it, and that way you get your card nice and straight for when you put it into your card folder. So there is our folding mechanism done, and it means that when you slide it into your folder, you will actually get the next layout. You'll have the card fitting in behind in your plastic sleeve system. So it's a cheap way, particularly with most of the sleeve system, they have at the top, they have this opening. So when you put your card in, it will just slide in at the top like that. So you don't have to do any of the cutting of your plastic sleeve, but all with this. So we'll start from the top card first, which I have got my 5 3/4 piece that has come from I'm just having a look here. I think it's called Lovely Roses is the paper that this was cut from. So we are going to attach this. Now please do remember, when you are doing these, to put plenty of tape on the top pocket. The reason being is it gets handled a lot and you want your flowers towards the left hand side. So we pop that on to our card centered like so. Now we also have, from the Blue Sky paper, I have cut a 4.5 by 3.5 piece, distressed it, and then I have got a 4 1/4 by 3 1/4 photo mat, so you can fit a true 3 by 4 photo. And what I tend to do with these is I've just got some pencil mark there, so I'll rub that off. I actually attach my photo mat first, once again making sure you've got plenty of tape on to hold everything in its place, and then just center that onto that card, and then repeat by putting plenty of tape down onto that card. And you need to attach this card virtually 1/4 inch from the right hand side centered, but don't attach this piece here, just lay it like that, attach this end like that. Now we have here, I've got a ticket, a small ticket, and I've got a small sprig that I've cut from the cut apart sheet. Now what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to pop the ticket underneath, which is why you don't press that down. Tape it really well, and just pop that underneath nearly to the edge. Then I'll get the day ticket and do exactly the same. Now and just move that in slightly. Then I've got my pretty little sprig there, which I haven't mounted or anything else, and I'm going to put that on with some glue, making sure I have my glue all over it so it sticks really, really well. There we have our first of our flat cards done. Now then we lift our card over and we will do the center piece of our card. Now once again I have got from the lovely rose paper a 5 3/4 by 3 3/4 piece, which has been distressed, and because it's on that top flap, make sure you put plenty of tape. And then that goes on the top, centered. Like so. And I have, for this one, I have got a 3 by 4. A 3 by 4, which I'm going to put over this side. So we will attach our tape and keep that centered again with the same border. It's roughly about 1/2 inch from the right hand side, and don't press down this little bit because I found a little flower just to add a little bit of dimension. And once again I'll also glue down. And when you finish this layer, any flowers that are left, you can go and cut out some more flowers and probably put them in this little area here. And the bottom card is very easy. We just have our 5 3/4 by 3 3/4 blue sky paper. And because that's in your folder, you don't need as much tape. Just pop that on there. Then I have my 5 1/2 by 3 1/2 black photo mat, which goes into the center like that. And there we have a really nice flap card, and you get a real estate purchase of the 3 photo mats there, and that's card number 2 complete. Now here's card number 3. I've got my 6 by 4 white base card, my 5 3/4 by 3 3/4 card, which has come from, I'm just having a look here at my, which has come from the lovely rose paper again, and I've just distressed around the edges, and that is going to go onto my card, centered. Again, now I have got my 3 1/4 by 4 1/4 photo mat here, and that is going to go onto my card 1/2 inch from this edge, and then center it in the middle, but don't press down. I've actually put the tape at the top so I can actually poke things into the side here, because I want, once again, my little tickets popped in like that, except this time make sure I've got it round the right way, not upside down. So I'm just going to get a bit of glue and attach those underneath before I press that photo card down. So that's the first one that goes in, just about 1/2 inch from the top. Put my other ticket down, which is poking out. That's sometimes why I like to use glue, because you can actually still move your things around for a short while. Now my flower here, I'm going to pop here, and I don't like the way that it's lying, so I'm going to just snip around this piece and snip the buds off. And then just pop your pieces in to where you physically want them. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to glue these two in, but I'm going to foam mount the rose. And I'll do that first. So when I'm happy where it is, I will then glue the other bits to where I want them to be. And I might just trim round these a little bit. And then put those into place. And that's what you can do with your flowers if they're not sitting the way that you want them to. And that gives you a bit of layered texture, making sure that you don't put any of your foam tape where your photo mat would be. And there's card number 3 complete. Okay, we're on to card number 4 now, and I've got my 5 3/4 card from Lovely Roses again, and my 6x4 base card. And as normal, I'm going to attach this onto my base card centered. I then will attach my photo mat, 3x4 with about 1/2 inch centered, like that. Now I've got some roses and things here, so I've just got a rose here. I've got a beautiful butterfly, which once again I have done my flutter so I can sort of get some depth, and I've also got a little word called picture. So I'm just going to pop my mounting tape onto my picture, so it goes up in the top here. Just bring it slightly across. My rose is going to be flat. I'm just going to angle that a little bit. And I've distressed all of my edges on these. So then I'll just take off, and as you can see, I've got my little 2 strips of mounting tape. Put my glue on my center of my body, and then I'm going to angle my butterfly and just hold him down for a few seconds. And that way it gives you that little bit of dimension to your card. And there's card 4. We're going on to our 3x4 cards, remembering that we are having trouble getting our little plastic folders. So I have done a 6x4 card, but I'm going to make it look like I've got 2 3x4 cards, so that your card will look like this. So what I've got here is my 3x4 photo mat, which I've taken off just 1/8 of an inch from the top and 1/8 of an inch from the bottom, so you get that tiny little border on the side. So the best thing to do with this is to put this card on first. Then you know that you have to have that little gap here. Now I've done the same with this card, and this card has come from, I'm having a look here, from Spring Mood paper. And I've used the blue side, and I've distressed the edges, and I've taken 1/8 of an inch off the top and 1/8 of an inch off the side to give me the same matching border as this card here. Now I've just found some script paper that I had left lying in my stash, or you could use washi tape, and it measures 2 inches by 3 3/4 inches. And what I want to do with this is to just pop that on the side to get your tiny little matching border. Now I have cut one of the flower clusters here, and I'm going to glue that down on the opposite side and just tilt it like so until you can get all your bits in. To your card so it will fit into your folder. And once again I have got my butterfly, which I'm going to put, because it's so fussy up the top and you've got a bit of bare patch, I'm going to pop him down the bottom. So once again I have done my flutter wings, bit of glue in the center, and attach him. And there's 5A and 5B card done, and it does look like your 3x4 cards that we have for our plastic folders. Now if you've got your separate 3x4s, all you would do is cut straight down the middle there, and you'll have your 2 cards you can put into your type of pocket. This card's very much like just the previous card. Once again I've got my 6x4 which we're making into 2 3x4 lookalikes. I have got my black cardstock again, which of course is my I'll give you the measurements here. 3 7/8 by 2 7/8. And we'll just attach this exactly the same as we did the other, with that little tiny border all around, and then we'll go on to our next 3 by 4 space. And I have done exactly the same, just slightly smaller than it actually needs to be. Okay, now I have cut this slightly differently. I have done this 3 3/4. It should be 3 7/8, so that you just have that tiny border, but for the sake of this video I am going to use this card. So we just attach that. I'm going to center it, so just center it as you would do normally with your little tiny border there. I'm going to put mine right in the middle. So your card will have just that border like this one. Now I have done a die cut here, and I've done it green, and I've put a little bit of white to tone it down, and I'm going to place that 1 inch in from the left hand side, and then I'm going to snip it level like so. Then I have got a piece here which is 3.5 by 2 inches, which came from the same paper, but I've just reversed it, and that is going to sit just once again with that 7 1/8 border. So we're going to pop that in like so. Now this particular flower here is going to sit up the top, and then I've got my circus ticket which is going there, so I'll put my circus ticket in first. Then I'm going to glue my fussy cut flower on the top. Get that all attached down. And any little bits that are sticking up, you can just quickly pop some glue into that area. So there we have card 5D and 5C, and we have completely done one side of our layout, and we'll continue on with the next part. So here comes card number 6. I've got my 6 by 4 base card, and I also have my 5 3/4 by 3 3/4, and this has come from the Spring Mood paper. So we are just going to attach that again, just centered, and I've distressed around the edges as normal. So there we have the card there, and this time I've done a little filigree cardstock which is going to go just here. So we will just pop that, and I want a little border matching up with the other border, so, and just attach that. Now I have got a nice little rose ephemera here, fussy cut, So I'm just going to quickly gunge the edges up a little bit. Just makes your ephemera pop, and also if you've got any little cut edges it will hide. And that is going to go up the top, so I will glue that first before I put my photo mat on. Like so. Then I've got my photo mat which needs to go, and it's a 3x4 photo mat, and that is going to go on the bottom of my card. And I've just done that 1/2 inch from the bottom. And there we have card 6. Now we're on to card number 7, and with this I've got my 6x4 base mat. I have also cut this 5 3/4 by 3 3/4 card. I've cut this from one of my spare cards, and I've just got the 5 3/4 by 3 3/4. I'm just going to attach that centered. I also cut some script, which is roughly 1 inch by 3 3/4. And that is going to go on the bottom with just a bit of a border all the way around. Then I have got my 4.5 by 3.5, which was cut from the same card as this, with just the blue back. And that is going to go 1/4 inch from the top to give you that border all the way around. And then your 3 1/4 by 4 1/4 mat will just go right in the center of that. Now with your ephemera, I have actually got this mounted, and that is going to go onto your piece, making sure you have nothing attached, and just attach this once your photograph goes onto your piece. And I have got a butterfly, which I am doing exactly what I did with my other butterflies. Just attach your 2 little strips on the wings like that to make them sit up. Put some glue, and then we're just going to slant that up and press down. There we have card number 7 finished. Now this has no ephemera because this is a true full photo mat. All I've got is my 6x4 base card, my 5 3/4 by 3 3/4 patterned paper, which I just used the blue, and that's going to be attached centered. Then I have my 5.5 from memory. Yes, 5.5 by 3.5 photo mat, and that is going straight into the center. And there's card number 8 finished. Now this is card number 9, and it's our last of our true 6x4 cards, and I have got my 5 3/4 by 3 3/4 paper cut from the blue, but I'm going to use not the blue side. So I've distressed my edges, and that is going straight onto my card, base card centered. And then I have my filigree piece, which is going on this side of the layout. So we'll put our tape down for that and just pop that on like that. Now I have got my 3x4 photo mat here, which just goes to the top, virtually 1/4 inch from the top, centered. And then I decided, because if I centered it, it would cover up. So I'm moving it 1/4 inch from both the left hand side and the top. Like that, just slightly skew so that we can see our nice border. Now I've got 2 tickets here. So my first ticket I want underneath, just at the bottom. So we will attach that down the bottom, and I've distressed the edges of that ticket. And I've got another one of those tickets that I printed up from the Tim Holtz ticket collection, and I've just cut a bit off, and that's going to go just crooked on the top like that. Now I've got a sprig of flowers here. I want to go here, and I'm going to put that onto some mounting tape. Put that bit there, and I'll pop a bit here, take the backing off, I'm just going to pop that there, and then I've got one of those butterflies. Because my thing's not that sticky, I'm going to stick it with glue, and we're going to make that flutter. Very simply, we have card number 9 done. Now these are our last of our eye candy cards, is what I call them. So this one here is 10B. So we have just got a card here which is 3 3/4 by 2 3/4, and that is going, I've distressed the edges, is going centered. Then I fussy cut one of my flowers for down the bottom, which I'm going to put right down to the bottom. And now this is attached flat. So just pop that down into the bottom. And then to finish it off, I decided to put an extra flower in here. But before I decide where I'm going to pop this, I need to put my wording, "We remember moments, we don't remember days." And I'm going to pop that up the top. And pop that one over here. And then have a look and make a decision where we want to pop this little card here. haven't distressed the edges, which is, so I'm just going to quickly gunge my edges up. And there we have one of our cards done. Our next one is exactly the same. We have got our 3 3/4 card by 2 3/4, and that is going to go centered onto our card. I have got a little piece of that script again, just so that everything keeps balanced, and that is going over on the side. And I cut a flower which I've distressed, and I'm going to just put that onto my card flat. And I've got a beautiful butterfly here. I'm going to flutter that. There we have our 2 eye candy cards, 10B and 10D done. So we've done the full complete layout. So here's the finished layout, all done, and that includes the flap card as well. I do hope you enjoyed following along with this video, and do attempt to do it yourself. And until next time, keep crafting. Bye.